This is Kugan Cassius for IFL TV in association with Scott's Menswear and MGM Marbella. With me, I've got my man Terry. What's happening, Terry?
Everything's good, you know. We're looking forward to biggest fight of his life coming up very shortly. Everything's good.
Do you know what? Lovely surroundings here. We won't give a tour of the Terry Empire.
You've got to keep estate down, you know, because I could get attacked, you know, with burglars thinking like I'd got a few quid or something like that.
Yeah, and you quite clearly haven't.
Quite clearly.
Not far now, Terry. 3 weeks away, and we're going to find out how good your boy is. I mean, like I said,
well, let's be honest, Cougar. It's been a long time coming. It's been, like I say, a hell of a long time coming. I think maybe, I don't know whether I could say it's been 17 years, 10 years, or 2 years. But in all, it's been a long time coming. But we're eventually there, you know. We did have a nightmare few years, like I said, with Alexander shenanigans. You know, that were unbelievable nightmare. In fact, I'll just clear things up for people, you know, because I've seen a hell of a lot of things, you know, posted all over with Kell's pulling out, you know, and he's ducking him and he's doing that. I'll just put people right, you know, on that. What actually happened with Kell in the first place with Alexander, he had an ankle injury. Now, this was 6 weeks out, and we were told that basically it needs 2 weeks, you know, to get it right. And to get Kell right at that point for that time, we needed an extra 4 weeks, you know. So we had a word with Golden Boy, 6 weeks out. Didn't want people, you know, booking flights, you know, doing rest of things to be disappointed. So we were upfront about it with Golden Boy, and they gave us that extension of 4 weeks. So we're basically training away. Kell's back in it once he got okay with that little ankle niddle that he had. He's training away, and we gets to a week off fight, and suddenly we gets word, I think Kell was in full Ventura at time training. We're a week out to go to the fight. He got word that Devon Allis had basically pulled his muscle. As you can imagine, we were devastated at that point, because in total we've probably been training, what, 5 months in total. And you know, we're normal, the muscle pull. We just presumed that it's not something that's going to mend overnight, you know. Fight would be delayed at, who knows, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, who knows. So obviously it fights off, so Kell's back, he can lay his head down a bit, you know, eat a little bit, which Kell likes to do at times. And then basically it fights back on. So Kell was off again, training like an animal. You know, they got him doing severe runs, you know, on running machines, and anyway, he come down with that metacarpal injury, and I think that we're about 8 weeks out or something like that, where we did that. And at that time, so we got Hallam University involved. We got Kell, you know, training in water. I think it was Dr. Simon Till up at Sheffield Hallamshire Hospital, who told us, you know, that it'd be 6 weeks before, you know, it'd be okay to train on that. So in the meantime, like I said, we've got Kell running in water. He got these suspended swings we were running, keeping his heart rate there. Kell did everything he possibly could, you know, to make that fight. And when it come to it, you know, with his foot, it literally, every time he got the okay to train, there were literally 5 days to go to the fight. And Kell said to me, he said, Dad, he says, I just can't get in there, you know, with 5 days to go, knowing that I hadn't had no sparring, you know, and fight Devon Alexander. He says, I just can't do it. And he were in bits, I were in bits, and like I said, I look at a lot of people and they call Kell and say he pulls out this and he does that. And let me tell you something about Kell, he's never pulled out out in his life. Believe me, put a lion in front of him, he'll fight it, you know.
What about the Timothy Bradley situation?
Well, the Timothy Bradley situation, it were never really there. You know, there were talk of it, but I do know that Bob Allen wanted options on Kell's next 3 fights, you know. Obviously rubbish money, then we'd be fighting somebody who we didn't know, we'd be fighting on his turf. We'd probably get 3 fights down the line, you know, and then he'd probably, I don't know what he'd have been putting in front of, but we just weren't in control. Yeah, we possibly could have got a world title shot, but we'd have had to sign his life away, and that's something that I've never ever let Kell do.
And also there's always been talk of Kell was #1 with the WBO, the title I think Manny Pacquiao had at the time. Can you clear up that as well?
Yeah, Kell were number one bit WBO, but the sad part about it, the WBO champion were Manny Pacquiao, and there's no way that the WBO were going to force Manny Pacquiao, you know, into a fight with Kell. So it had been a case sat there for years, you know, fighting some, I don't know, should I call them a taxi driver, you know, from wherever they want to come, you know, be for probably 2 years fighting them, and then eventually when either Pacquiao vacated or they were shot for a vacant belt, yeah, we probably would have got the world title. And then, you know, I look at other fighters, then we'd have probably been fighting second rank fighters, you know, defending this WBO title. And I just think, well, that's not what Kell's about. Kell's a proper, he wants to fight fighters, he wants to fight people who are the best. You know, we didn't want to be fighting people while, you know, you get mugged along and that sort of thing. It's just unfortunate, you know, the situations, what's happened to Kell. You know, believe me, he don't duck nobody or back out on anything.
One of the biggest arguments against Kell is that in his 30 odd fights he's had, the level of opposition to prepare him for an opponent like Sean Porter for a world title fight, do you believe it's been sufficient enough?
Well, I do believe that in these latter few years then that the step up's been absolutely brilliant, you know. But it's about promoters having money, you know, to put behind fighters. You know, if you want to fight somebody who's say ranked in top 10, unfortunately it costs money. You know, if you want to ship someone in who probably costs us $3,000, you know, you can ship people in. It's all about money. And, you know, not slagging anybody off, but, you know, promoters, they have the golden boys, you know, and they've only got X amount of money to spend. So at that present time it might not be feasible to spend it on that fighter. I mean, I saw it where, you know, we just weren't getting the money or the quality of fighters put behind us, and Kell can only fight what's put in front of him, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Is there an argument now that we, after all the fights Kell's had, unbeaten, we still don't know how good Kell is? Is that fair to say?
Well, that's fair to say, and I think that keeps it interesting, because like you say, we don't know, but I know we're all going to find out very shortly.
Well, listen, you know, if anyone half sensible from this country would want Kell Brook'S to go and rip that belt away from Sean Porter's waist, but you know, Kell's got his haters, you know he has, Terry. You know, people, like I said, I see it on social media sites week in, week out, you know, about people who don't rate your boy and things like that. But come August 16th, I suppose all these questions, I suppose people have, cynical people, it'll be answered.
Well, I don't know. It's like you can please some people some at time, but not all of the people all the time. And I'd say probably the higher you get up that ladder, you've got people waiting to kick you off, you know, for a bigger fall. It's, I don't know, some can be jealous, you know, for whatever motives people have. You'll always have your haters, you know. But basically, Kell is a sound. If you knew him, he's an absolutely sound, down-to-earth guy, you know. And like I said, I don't think it warrants it. And in fairness to Kell, like I say, he's never pulled out in anything. You know, it's just always been, like I say, misfortune, or like I say, not getting the right opposition, you know, into fight. But he'll fight whoever they put in front of him. He'll be there.
It's interesting. Like I said, it's been a drawn-out process for the last couple of years over this, and people have to understand about the mandatory situations that you can't get them just like that. You have to wait your turn if you miss one, and people don't seem to understand that. So, you know, but you know.
Well, they don't. It's like you say, you either, you know, in desperation to get a world title, you either sign your life away, you know, or you wait, like you said, for that sort of position. And Eddie's done an absolute fantastic job, you know, in getting into that position. I've just basically explained that the Alexander thing was an absolute total nightmare, and probably set us back, you know, a year and a half, you know, which obviously gutted, and Kell absolutely, like I said, devastated. But here we are, the world title's here, you know, and believe me, people who say that Brook's going to pull one or he's going to pull out, he ain't pulling out nothing. He'll be there in Carson on 16th of August fighting for that world title. and I believe bringing it home for us.
I certainly hope so. Terry, just the final thing I want to talk to you about. Obviously, you know, his promoter Eddie Hearn has made reference to in previous camps to Kell's lifestyle outside the ring. What can you say about that, and in comparison to now?
When there's a lifestyle like ring, you like some food. You know, you imagine suddenly if you've been training for 6 months and suddenly you can have a burger. Yeah, you want a burger, but you want another one as well. You know, so that's when people say if you don't live the life, if people, you know, anybody who goes on a diet, go on a diet for six weeks, you know, and then you don't say, well, you can just let your hair down for a little bit. Of course he's going to have some food and he's going to put some pounds on. And I think you went to Marbella recently, didn't you, Colby? And your fighting weight went up a bit, didn't it?
Yes.
We're all human. We're all human.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But like I said, there were some issues after the first Carson Jones fight that were, you know, put to bed, sort of thing. So,
well, I think to be fair with Carson Jones, I think Kell probably did take him, you know, a little bit lightly. Probably looked at Carson's record. You know, I think he'd got 6 losses on his record at the time, but in his early careers, and I do know in his latter part of his career that he trained with Abel Sanchez up in Big Bear. I do know he won his last 7 fights all with knockout. You know, he come out in them mountains a complete raving animal. And Kell just looked at him, probably did underestimate him a little bit. So it cost him a tough fight. But you can never question Kell's heart. No matter what, he'll be there to fight till the end.
That Carson Jones fight will ultimately hopefully have done him a favour, won't it?
It should have, if he ain't, and what more does he need?
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. All right. Well, listen. Thanks for talking to IFL TV. We're just going to head down to the gym now. So grab a word with Kell. Thanks for inviting me around to your beautiful home.
It's always a pleasure, Cougar.
It's lovely.
You can even stay at night.
Stay at night?
Yeah. We've got ghosts.
But can man bring back woman?
Hey, hold it down, I'm married.
No, not you, me. I'm talking about me.
Yeah, I ain't got a problem with that. That'll be one of girls coming in for you now. I'll just cut it off, I'll just sort it out for you.
Alright, Kevin Cassius, Terry, IFL TV here in Sheffield. Thank you very much.